Hello and welcome to another video of Girls Frontline 2. I'm Apple. How you doing? This will not be one of those videos where I simply read off the Pride Win tier list like other content creators. I trust you can do that yourself. This is also not a video to discredit or bash Pride Win on their opinions towards Girls Frontline 2. They do a great job creating tier lists on various gacha games to help the players decide on which units to save up for. With their success in other games, I feel they became comfortable with their cookie cutter formula that focuses on DPS damage, amplifying that DPS, and healing or sustaining that DPS to do DPS things. That is not really what their criteria is. They usually provide a summary at the top of their tier list for you to view. But you get the point. They are carrying over formulas from other gacha games they covered, covering damage dealers, amplifiers, healers, and tanks. Clearly, Girls Frontline 2 has those roles, but I believe we should be more focused on the classes, elements, and team synergy. I put together the most recent CN tier list that is being passed around Bilibili. This shows how they structured their tier list, and yes, there are similarities to Pride Wins, but also major differences. Characters are divided into their classes, which makes sense since the devs of Girls Frontline 2 wanted to make this a clear point. These classes from left to right are Vanguard, Sentinel, Support, and Bulwark. In this tier list, they don't point out the elements, but they are indeed very important to team synergy and enemy weaknesses. This tier list takes each unit and focuses on how well they do in their specific class, and depending on utility and synergy, the higher they are scored. Any unit placed in T0 is basically too broken for the current state of the game. T1 and T2 are great units to have. T3 performs what is asked of them in their specific class. T4 are units to be used when you don't have other options and can still clear the content of the game. Keep in mind this game is still in its early phases, and I believe the developers are just now figuring out what they want to do with this game. Although not part of the tier list, elements are important factors to consider since most of the enemies have weaknesses towards specific elements. The elements also create synergies between different units to help players form teams. This is a list of the units available up to the 1 year mark on the CN schedule. This picture points out the core members of the element teams and who can be slotted into the remaining spots. Kukai happens to fit in with almost every group, that is why she is shown multiple times. At the current state, not all elements have complete teams, and physical units are in a dire situation that the devs plan to figure out in the future, so stay tuned for that. As you can see, a good portion of the physical units are vanguards, which makes it hard to form a proper team. Elements do provide team synergy, but we are still unsure where this game is going, and although these teams are CN player suggestions, everything could change in the future. This is pure speculation in my personal opinion, but this game won't be focused on mono teams, but rather a combination of core units from different elements. We already get examples of this during boss fights and enemies on the map. We will most likely use team comps that look like these, such as corrosion and electric or hydro and freeze. These images give examples of what that would look like, but it doesn't take account of unit synergy and is just simply an example. This is most likely the course the devs are going to focus on when developing enemies and maps. There is also another possibility that classes will determine your party makeup, in which case this could be what teams look like. Once again, these are examples not accounting for synergy, just taking a unit for each class and plugging them in. As Girls Frontline 2 continues into the future, only time will tell about tier lists, standings, and team building. For now, enjoy the units you like and have fun with the game.